When an AI spits out an image or a block of text, is that a brand new active creation? Or is it just a really, really sophisticated way of stealing? The answer, whatever it is going to redefine what art and ownership even mean. A generative AI needs to be trained on just unbelievable amounts of data. We're talking images, articles, books, music, you name it. And since so much of that is protected by copyright law, it sets the stage for this huge clash between the people making the art and the people writing the code.
Okay, but before we go any further, we have to clear up the single biggest misunderstanding about copyright. I'm sure you've heard someone say, "Hey, you stole my idea." But here's the thing. Legally, that's just not a thing. Copyright law has never, ever protected a raw idea.
So, if it doesn't protect ideas, what does it protect? Well, copyright is basically built on three core principles. Let's call them the three pillars. And if you can wrap your head around these, you've got the key to this entire debate. First up is the expression doctrine. Copyright protects the unique way an idea is expressed, not the idea or the facts themselves. Think about it like this. A news report has facts: the who, what, where, when. Another journalist can report on the exact same event using the exact same facts without any issue as long as they use their own words. The facts are free for anyone to use. It's the specific expression that's protected. The second pillar is originality. For a work to be protected, it has to be an original product of its author. It needs to be different from what came before. So, for example, just slapping some eyebrows on a photo of a cat, probably not original enough, but a hand-drawn meme of that same cat, well, that reflects your own creativity, your originality, and that would most likely be protected. And finally, we have the authorship doctrine. And folks, this is the one that AI is shaking to its very core. Because traditionally, copyright requires a human author. The whole system was built on the idea that a person, an individual, is behind every creative work. Right now, most legal systems on the planet just do not recognize an algorithm as a potential author. So, to put it all together, here's what's not covered by copyright. We've got ideas, raw facts, recipes, general knowledge. All that stuff is in the public domain, free for all of us to use and build on. And other things, like inventions or brands, well, they have their own special legal protections, like patents and trademarks. And this image, wow, it just brilliantly illustrates the central problem we're facing. For centuries, the law just assumed there was a person, a human being, behind every creation. But now it has to deal with this ghost in the machine, an AI that can generate art that's often totally indistinguishable from what a person can make. Well, the first major legal battleground isn't even about what AI creates. It's about what it eats. It's all about the input, the data used to train the model in the first place. And this has kicked off a huge wave of lawsuits that are going to set the rules for decades. You've got Getty Images suing Stability AI for scraping, they say, 12 million of its photos. You've got authors like Paul Tremblay and Sarah Silverman saying their books were fed into ChatGPT without their permission, pointing out that the AI can now summarize their entire life's work. These cases are a really big deal. It's about people's livelihoods. Creators are terrified that AI models, trained on their art, will then just pump out content that competes directly with them, basically using their own creativity against them. So that brings us to the second huge battleground, the output. Once the AI is trained and it makes something new, who actually owns it? With different countries coming up with totally different answers. So let's ask the question, who gets the copyright? Is it the person who wrote the prompt? Is it the company that built the AI? Or what if there's no human author? Does that mean the work just belongs to everyone in the public domain? Right now, there's absolutely no global agreement on this. And what's so fascinating is you can see this split happening in real time. In the US, the Copyright Office denied protection for AI-generated images in a comic book, basically saying the output wasn't predictable or directly made by the human. But in China, a court went the complete opposite way. In the case of Mr. Li, they said his prompts showed his aesthetic choice and personal judgment, and that made him the rightful author. Two totally different outcomes. So you've got this global divide. You've got these massive lawsuits. The big question is, how do we find a path forward? How do we balance the incredible power of AI with the rights of human creators? Well, one piece of the puzzle is actually coming from data privacy law. Over in Europe, the GDPR adds this whole other layer of complexity. If the training data for an AI includes personal info, like photos of people, then all these data protection rules suddenly apply, creating another set of legal hoops for developers to jump through.
The EU is also trying out some pretty new ideas for copyright itself. Under a new directive, companies are generally allowed to use copyrighted stuff for text and data mining unless the creator has specifically said, no, you can't. This is a huge change. It puts the burden on the artist to opt out instead of on the AI company to ask for permission first.
And beyond new laws, there are a lot of other solutions being floated. Some people are talking about new payment models, like a royalty system where AI companies pay into a fund that goes to creators. Others are pushing for public data libraries, so a few big tech companies don't control all the training data. And almost everyone agrees we need clear ethical guidelines and transparent agreements to make this whole ecosystem fairer for everybody. And so we're left with this final, really deep question. For centuries, our ideas about making things and owning things have been fundamentally human. But now, as AI starts to perform these acts of creation that we always thought were ours alone, we really have to ask, is it time to redefine not just what it means to be an artist, but what it means to own anything at all?